You cannot give Seth fucking Rollins, not Freaking, because Freaking's the guy who wears the white tights. You cannot give Seth fucking Rollins sympathy here. He's a bitch. And I don't mean to go off here. He said
by all means,
qualitatively, I had no problem with what Rollins was saying because he was saying all the right things. The issue is Triple H trumped him because everything Triple H was saying about how I spoon-fed you, I helped you along, I made you the flavor of the month. Yep. He wasn't lying. And moreover, maybe it was just me. Seth Rollins came off as such a pussy because I don't see how, and I will permit a little bit that Wisconsin did not give that segment necessarily the right time of day. The crowd was not responsive. Rollins was being ho-hum, and Corey Graves... No, Corey Graves was doing his best to be like, hey Seth, how's it going? How's rehab going? And Seth just comes off with, oh, it is what it is. It's not very, it's medicine, it's not science, you got to take it one day at a time. And I'm like, are you a fucking football player?
How you sound right now, you're speaking with more sincerity than he did. So you're giving him too much credit with your reenactment because the dude, I could tell that it was fake as hell. And that's the problem. When I'm sitting there and I can't even, again, I'll agree with you, Dalton, when you said that it wasn't an issue with what he said. The words, they were there. And I kind of talked about this with Steven on Twitter a little bit because Steven has this thing, he wanted Seth Rollins to finally have his mea culpa, to realize that all of the dirt that you did with Triple H, at some point you're going to have to realize that it's not worth it and maybe you need to change your ways because after all of this time that Seth Rollins has been quote-unquote face, he's never had that moment of reflection where he's like, okay, well, it's about time that now I finally change my ways. So Steven was saying that that moment on Raw was the face turn that Seth Rollins never had, and that was a necessary moment for the development and the progression of his character. That's all well and good. We went into that segment looking for two completely different things, though. Or I'm not going to say two completely different things, because I was looking for what Steven was looking for, but in addition to that, I wanted to feel some kind of sympathy for Seth Rollins, because something that I've noticed from him, and this is actually one of the reasons why I stopped watching Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins is not a good top babyface, or at the very least, he has not been.
You're right, people. You guys know I'm practically the biggest Seth Rollins mark on this show, and even I'll admit, even I'm gonna say it. This face turn has been shit. But you have no idea how much this breaks my heart because
we know.
Shut up, Jay. But yeah, I so want this to work, and much like you, Jay, and much like the rest of you, I was definitely looking for something out of Rollins Monday night. And here's the thing, I actually do think that Triple H, while he was mollywhopping him on the microphone, which by the way, that was the game taking everybody in the back to promo school. Mm-hmm. Just to let you know. And it was great. But yeah, I honestly think that he legitimately did that because you can tell that he wanted to see something out of Seth Rollins. He wanted to see something. He was challenging him. I think he really was legit challenging him to say something. All Seth Rollins, unfortunately, I hate to say this, all he did was just stare and say, I'll see you at WrestleMania. And here's the thing. I think this was a little bit of open-ended intentionally. This is still not an official match. We still don't know what's going to happen if the match gets officially booked, which I actually do think it will happen. But still, if you're trying to come out and trying to let the people know what the heck is going on with you, then you need to put on... Dude, you are going to be possibly missing WrestleMania for the second straight year in a row, and you're telling me that you can't come up with a legit emotional promo?
That's my thing. That's my thing.
He did not delve deep enough.
I was sitting there listening to what he was saying, and I'm like, okay, well, I know this shit is fake because I'm not sensing any emotion from him, so he's going to be at WrestleMania. Because I was like, if this was real, you would think that it would affect him in a way where it's like exactly what you just said. This is my second year in a row where I'm missing WrestleMania. This isn't some storyline shit. That's real life. What is his real name? Colby Lopez? That's him. You know, forget about Seth Rollins. That's the dude behind Seth Rollins who is experiencing this, missing out on a WrestleMania once again. And because I didn't get that emotion out of him, and let me try to find this person, because they sent me a message on Twitter saying that he went to the Stephanie McMahon School of Sincerity. Yeah, well, he didn't necessarily have to go to the school, because you know that is his mama. He just got it from her at home, you know. So
he homeschooled.
Yeah, he homeschooled. And unfortunately, Vince was nowhere around. Grandpa was nowhere around, because I don't know what happened from, you know, well, I guess she got it from Linda. So it makes sense now. Makes sense.
With the dunce cone on his head, too, while whipping him with the damn ruler on his hand.
Oh, man.
I got no problem. I have no problem with Seth Rollins trying to delve into his, you know, be introspective and figure out why he had a change of heart. You know, make him look back at what got him here and the mistakes he's made, but he didn't delve deep enough. I was hoping whenever Rollins has this internal struggle and looks back at what he did, he would address his turning on the Shield. He didn't mention that at all. Moreover, I felt Triple H was feeding him lines. I mean, clearly I know he wasn't necessarily feeding him lines, but the way it came off is, do not come to WrestleMania. Do not.
He said it 4 times.
He's like, do not.
I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. He just said that he wasn't going to be there. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's not going to be. He just said the doctors weren't looking too hot. Like, he wasn't going to get cleared. So why are you telling him don't do this? That's like, read between the lines, Seth. Don't do what I'm saying.
Yeah, have you all seen that Guardians of the Galaxy trailer where Rocket Raccoon is talking to Baby Groot? And he's like, do not press that button. And then he's like, I am Groot. I am Groot. Like, okay, so you want me to press the button, right? He's like, no, don't press the button. That reminded me of Seth Rollins and Triple H. It's like, I didn't even consider this before you said something. But now you said something, I think I might see you at WrestleMania.